Every day is a battlefield, and the first light is the signal to mobilize. Before the world stirs, before obligations and distractions take shape, you must launch your dawn offensive. Lethargy and hesitation are enemy scouts, probing for weakness, and the moment you linger in indecision, they claim ground you can never reclaim. Seize the first hours with relentless purpose. Tactical rituals prepare the body, sharpen the mind, and align strategy with execution. Movement, focus, and deliberate attention are weapons. Meditation, journaling, and targeted exercise are your sharpening stones. Each act of discipline in these early hours is a strike against chaos, an assertion of control that compounds as the day progresses. The first strike advantage is real. Dominating these moments secures momentum for every skirmish that follows. Do not wait for the day to dictate your pace. Dictate it yourself. Command your energy, direct your thoughts, and structure your actions as a general positions troops for maximum effect. Even minor deviations, scrolling aimlessly, delaying a task, succumbing to fleeting comfort, allow the enemy to advance. Resist passivity. Treat the first hours as territory to conquer, fortify, and defend. Plan the day with precision, setting priorities that mirror strategic objectives rather than reactive whims. When obstacles arise, emails, meetings, trivial demands, respond with clarity and efficiency. Do not allow interruptions to fracture your formation. Micro-decisions accumulate into strategic advantage. In leadership, this principle manifests in calm authority. When a colleague challenges your direction in the morning briefing, acknowledge the point, redirect the conversation with confidence, and maintain initiative. The battlefield is as much internal as external. Your mind must be alert, your focus unwavering, your discipline automatic. Neglect the morning, and you cede the high ground, dominate it, and the rest of the day falls into alignment. Execute rituals with precision, enforce personal rules with unwavering consistency, and treat every small victory as a captured fortification. By the time the world awakens fully, you have already seized the initiative. Stand vigilant, act decisively, and never surrender the first hours to indecision. Momentum is power, structure is armor, action is dominance. Win the dawn, and the day is yours. Stillness is the sharpest weapon in a world that never pauses. While others speak, react, and exhaust themselves in motion, you observe with precision. Silent observation allows you to read intentions, uncover weaknesses, and anticipate moves before they are made. Every gesture of allies and rivals becomes intelligible when you resist the urge to act immediately. Patience is not inaction, it is preparation. Holding back is an exercise in power, enabling decisive strikes rather than clumsy responses. In boardrooms, social circles, or competitive environments, the person who waits, who watches, commands attention without a word. Calmness in chaos unsettles competitors. It signals confidence, foresight, and control. Your composure becomes a psychological fortress that others cannot penetrate. Tactical stillness sharpens judgment. Measure risks before engagement. Time your interventions for maximum effect, and preserve energy for battles that truly matter. Let silence reveal strategy. In one instance, when a team member challenged your direction, you paused, allowed them to finish, and responded with clarity that redirected the group without conflict. Every delay, every moment of restraint is a captured advantage. Refrain from impulsivity. Instead, cultivate an internal rhythm that dictates the pace of engagement. Like a predator, you wait for vulnerability, not opportunity. You do not rush toward noise. Establish dominance through measured presence, letting uncertainty ripple through those who act hastily. Stillness is also a lens. It allows you to distinguish between meaningful threats and trivial distractions, preventing misallocated effort. Anchor your day in quiet mastery, and every interaction becomes a controlled maneuver. Observe first, Act with intention, and let calm authority define your domain. Silent observation, patient discipline, and psychological dominance are inseparable allies. By mastering these, you do not merely participate in the world, you shape it. Command in silence, strike with certainty. Ruthlessness is the scalpel with which you carve sovereignty from chaos. Every habit, relationship, or belief that drains your energy is an enemy inside your walls. Expose weak links without hesitation. Identify the conversations that repeat emptiness, the patterns that sabotage your progress, the attachments that ask more than they give. These are not cruelties to others, they are instruments of your survival. Decisive action is your ally. When a distraction lingers, it fractures momentum and empowers hidden adversaries. Cut clearly and swiftly. Delay is consent to continued erosion of your authority. Like a general removing traitorous officers, eliminate what compromises the integrity of your inner army. Observe the cost of inaction. Every delay allows toxic elements to regroup, subtly undermining strategy and confidence. Sacrifice is not loss, but investment. Each elimination fortifies discipline, sharpens focus, and enlarges capacity for meaningful engagement. Visualize your life as a battlefield. Resources are finite, attention is a weapon, and power is cumulative. Prioritize what accelerates mastery and remove what impedes it. Micro-decisions matter. Declining an unproductive meeting, detaching from draining influences, saying no to self-deception. These are strikes that preserve strength. In one instance, when a long-time collaborator resisted boundaries, you stood firm, calmly explained the necessity, and disengaged respectfully, maintaining authority without escalation. The throne of your mind grows only through vigilance and selective culling. Internalize that clarity and control demand sacrifices you cannot postpone. Examine every corner of your day, every element of your environment, and ask whether it serves strategy or saps will. Let ruthless discernment guide action. Do not conflate ruthlessness with malice. It is the application of calculated necessity, the enforcement of priorities that secure long-term sovereignty. Each choice to eliminate what is unworthy multiplies the effectiveness of what remains. Preserve focus, cultivate power, and wield your life as a disciplined army wields its forces efficiently, relentlessly, decisively. Remove the rein, act without hesitation. Command is a mask worn as armor, a shield for the mind while the battlefield of your life is quietly mapped. Authority is measured in silence. Every word unspoken becomes a weapon sharpened for the right moment. Let restraint signal dominance. The one who speaks less often directs more effectively. Controlled presence is your first declaration of power. Stand with posture unyielding, gaze steady and discerning, movements deliberate. The body communicates strategy before the lips ever form a syllable. Observe how attention gravitates toward composure, how respect emerges not from volume, but from consistency of presence. Deception is not duplicity, it is protection. A mask shields intentions, conceals vulnerabilities, and confuses opponents, buying time to strengthen your internal forces. Display calm in conversation, while your plans consolidate unseen. In one interaction, when a colleague challenged a strategic choice, you maintained steady posture, spoke concisely, and allowed silence to convey the strength of your judgment. The situation de-escalated, authority intact, momentum preserved, each calculated gesture, pausing before speaking, holding eye contact, choosing which battles merit words, creates a perception of untouchable competence. Internalize that projection, and preparation are inseparable. The outward image of command bends the field to your advantage, while rebuilding occurs within. Micro-decisions matter, selecting when to respond, where to focus energy, whom to trust momentarily. Treat every social and professional encounter as a chessboard, A single measured move can shape outcomes far beyond immediate perception. Let your mask not be a lie but a tool of discipline, an instrument of influence that multiplies effectiveness. Stand as though already sovereign. Act as though every motion is strategic. Preserve internal growth, while the world interprets your silence as control. Cultivate patience, precision, and presence. Every gesture, every pause, every gaze reinforces the narrative of mastery. Do not allow impulsive reaction to fracture authority. Let stillness be the signal of latent power. Consolidate internally, project externally, and let the field of influence align with your will. Command without revealing, prevail without exposure. Hesitation is the silent traitor in your ranks, waiting to undermine every forward step. Complacency and doubt linger like predators in the shadows, invisible yet deadly, ready to strike when vigilance wanes. You are both the hunter and the hunted. Self-awareness is your first weapon. Name every fear, hesitation, and weakness as if placing targets on a battlefield. Scrutinize your routines, your impulses, the corners of your mind where inertia hides. These are not moral failures, but tactical vulnerabilities that, if left unchecked, will erode power silently over time. Once identified, inertia must be eliminated with ruthless precision. Every delay, every internal protest, every rationalization that deflects action is an enemy to be neutralized. Strike decisively. Begin the task you resist. Confront the habit you tolerate. Dismantle the mental patterns that stall advancement. Precision is essential. Do not advertise your strikes. Allow progress to accumulate quietly until momentum is undeniable. Each small conquest weakens the hold of doubt, strengthens the foundation of self-command, and clears space for strategic thought. Silent victories compound faster than ostentatious displays, because the mind is free to rebuild without distraction. Even when a subtle impulse challenges you, observe calmly, assess the threat, and redirect without hesitation. When a colleague questioned your decision to abandon an unproductive routine, you acknowledged their concern but held firm, demonstrating through action that calculated decisiveness commands respect more than explanation. Move with predator-like focus, targeting only what must fall, avoiding unnecessary conflict with inconsequential distractions. Let internal discipline be your unseen army, eliminating weakness before it can signal opportunity to doubt. Habits are ambush points. Intercept them quietly, decisively, and without pause. Strength emerges when the battlefield within is cleared, when hesitation is replaced with swift, deliberate action, when the mind's terrain is mapped and controlled like a master tactician preparing for war. Observe, identify, strike, and consolidate. Repeat daily until lethargy and fear are no longer tolerated within your borders. Internal sovereignty is non-negotiable. Let every mental strike be precise, intentional, and silent, so that no trace of weakness remains to betray you later. Hunt within, conquer silently, reign without hesitation. Ambition is the fire within, and desire is the wolf at your heels. Strength is not passive. It is earned through movement, through the calculated pursuit of goals that others fear to chase. Harness your inner predator. Let your focus stalk opportunity with relentless precision, channeling raw energy into decisive action. Every ambition ignored is hunger deferred. Every impulse disciplined becomes a weapon. Approach your goals like a wolf approaches its hunt, deliberate, patient, relentless, yet aware of the terrain and the dangers that accompany each step. Controlled intensity transforms potential into conquest. Every effort you expend with intention feeds the momentum that propels you forward, with reinforcing the hunter within. Calculated risk is your ally. The predator thrives only when danger is understood, weighed, and leveraged. Each challenge assessed before engagement strengthens your position and limits unnecessary loss. Avoid reckless pursuit. Measure the environment, the stakes, and the strength of opposition before striking. Sustain your drive daily. Willpower and focus are nourished through repeated action, reflection, and the quiet reinforcement of purpose. Do not allow distraction or fatigue to starve the predator. Feed it consistently with practice, learning, and small victories that compound over time. Even when peers doubted your ability to maintain such discipline, you demonstrated consistency quietly, letting results speak for themselves. Momentum is cultivated, not found. Guard it, reinforce it, and let it carry you through periods of doubt or delay. Ambition untended withers, desire unchanneled becomes chaos. Observe your instincts, refine your strategy, and strike with purpose. Let every task, every deliberate choice, every disciplined moment nourish your inner wolf so that energy is never wasted, hesitation is eliminated, and the pursuit of excellence becomes a natural rhythm. Embrace intensity, respect danger, and feed focus without distraction. Let each day strengthen the hunter within, transforming hunger into power and drive into mastery. Feed the wolf, rule the hunt, claim your dominion. Every move in life is a calculation, and every pause is an opportunity for your opposition to advance. Treat each day as a chessboard, every choice a piece with defined power and limitations. Anticipate opposition relentlessly. Observe patterns, study tendencies, and foresee the countermoves of peers, competitors, and circumstances. By predicting their actions, you prevent surprise attacks on your throne and position yourself to act first, decisively, and without hesitation. Sacrifice strategically. Not every setback is a failure. Losing a pawn may preserve the king. Identify what can be relinquished in the short term to secure long-term dominance. Comfort and immediate gratification are illusions that compromise your eventual sovereignty. Make deliberate choices about what to release and remain unemotional in execution. Flexibility is your silent weapon. Circumstances shift constantly. Rigidity is a liability. Adapt your plans fluidly, reposition resources, and modify tactics in response to changing threats or opportunities. Stubborn adherence to a single approach invites failure. When a colleague argued over the timing of a project pivot, you listened briefly, assessed the logic, and reallocated efforts without fanfare, demonstrating calm command and practical foresight. Every action must serve the broader strategy, every restraint a deliberate positioning. Maintain awareness of the board as a whole, balancing defense and offense, patience and aggression, risk and protection. Decisions are most powerful when guided by both vision and foresight, when you act with authority rather than reaction. Evaluate consequences before committing and align moves with overarching objective. Engage in continuous assessment, measure the impact of each choice, track progress, and anticipate the ripple effects of every engagement. Treat minor setbacks as pieces sacrificed for greater advantage, and never allow temporary loss to unsettle your strategy. Life's victories are cumulative, built through precise maneuvers executed with clarity, patience, and discipline. Let no impulse, no fear, no external pressure dictate your actions. Move with purpose, act with intention, and ensure each step strengthens your position on the board. See the board, command the pieces, rule the game. Discipline is forged in repetition, not inspiration. Treat every day as a battlefield, and your habits as weapons honed for combat. Daily drills are your hammer and anvil. Confront resistance head-on. Repeat the actions that test your limits, and let each iteration strengthen your mental armor. Consistency is not optional. It is the scaffold upon which invincibility is built. Mental calluses develop when you endure discomfort deliberately. Embrace temporary pain, The sting of early mornings, the fatigue of demanding tasks, the frustration of imperfect progress. Each moment of resistance absorbed and mastered reinforces your sovereignty over yourself. Avoid the illusion of ease. True power is measured in how well you persist when conditions are hostile. Treat ritual as a sacred ceremony. Schedule your actions with deliberate precision. Elevate repetition to a practice worthy of respect, and execute it with unwavering attention. In this framework, mundane acts become instruments of conquest, each repetition a brick in the fortress of your resolve. Observe how small, deliberate choices accumulate. Writing, planning, training, reflection, perform them with exactitude, knowing that neglect fractures the structure you are building. When a colleague questioned the intensity of your morning routine, you responded without defensiveness, outlined the purpose behind each step, and continued with calm, unwavering focus, demonstrating authority through execution rather than argument. Resist shortcuts. Shortcuts are the enemy of durability. Embrace the mundane, and in that embrace, find freedom from internal chaos. Strengthen your attention, temper patience, and condition your mind to act decisively under strain. Measure progress objectively, hold yourself accountable to the metrics you set, and do not rationalize lapses. Success is rarely the result of sudden brilliance. It is the cumulative effect of deliberate, relentless action. Your rituals are not mere tasks, they are instruments of power. Treat each with respect, maintain discipline when fatigue tempts hesitation, and fortify your will against distraction. Let no day pass unchallenged. Every repetition is a rehearsal for mastery. Build tolerance for discomfort, command your attention, and let the momentum of repeated effort carry you forward. Forge the will, execute relentlessly, remain unbroken. Presence is a weapon sharper than any blade. Forge your mind into unyielding armor, and let your thoughts repel intrusion. Psychological mastery begins with discipline over emotion. Regulate impulses, sharpen judgment, and condition your awareness to detect manipulation before it reaches your threshold. Every decision is an assertion of internal authority, each deliberate act reinforcing a fortress that cannot be breached. Visible dominance emerges when your posture, tone, and attention communicate command without words. Walk into rooms as if the space itself bends to accommodate your presence. Let silence carry weight. Pauses deliberate and movements controlled. Others will sense authority before any instruction is given. Strategic silence is your hidden battalion. Act only when timing ensures maximum impact. Avoid revealing all intentions, conceal reserves, and cultivate patience for decisive moments. Let competitors reveal their patterns while you remain unobserved, absorbing information that grants advantage without risk. When a colleague challenges your methods publicly, respond with calm composure, clarify the purpose succinctly, and allow the results of your execution to demonstrate supremacy without confrontation. Reinforce your rituals daily. Consistency translates to inevitability. Strengthen mental resilience by confronting discomfort voluntarily, for habitual endurance converts strain into immunity. Integrate prior disciplines, ambition harnessed, tactical awareness, rigorous routines, and calculated risk form the skeleton of untouchability. Mastery of self radiates outward, drawing respect, discouraging exploitation, and stabilizing influence. Observe, adapt, and maintain boundaries without aggression. Let others overextend themselves while you conserve resources, positioning carefully to maintain initiative. Every action should consolidate your reputation for reliability, competence, and calm decisiveness. Presence without exposure is the apex of strategic power. Allow your influence to extend quietly, yet inexorably. Command silently, move deliberately, remain untouchable. Every master of their fate must first conquer themselves. Stand at the center of chaos with the calm of a general surveying a battlefield. Your mind is the citadel. Fortify it daily with discipline, ritual, and strategic thought. Each morning, Execute the drills that harden resolve, endure discomfort as if it were a forge, and let repetition carve strength into your consciousness. Mental calluses grow in the friction of challenge. They are the armor that renders manipulation powerless and stress inconsequential. Treat every ritual as a sacred ceremony. Consistency transforms action into inevitability. Strategy becomes your weapon. Anticipate moves before they are made. Observe patterns without bias, and deploy silence as a tool of influence. Visible dominance is cultivated through posture, tone, and unwavering attention. Enter a room as though it has always been your domain, and let presence assert authority before words are spoken. Strategic silence allows you to act invisibly, gaining advantage while others remain exposed. Let competitors overextend themselves while you conserve resources, timing interventions for decisive moments. When a subordinate challenges your proposed initiative, respond with clarity and restraint, demonstrating superiority through execution rather than argument. Integrate previous lessons, mental mastery, daily ritual, tactical calculation, and controlled ruthlessness. Every decision should consolidate influence, every interaction treated as a calculated move on the chessboard of life. Do not allow vanity or impulse to disrupt your formation. Remain deliberate, focused, and unyielding. Observe, adapt, and enforce boundaries without aggression. Let restraint be mistaken for inaction, for patience amplifies power. Command attention not by volume but by gravitas. Let the weight of your presence shape outcomes quietly, yet irresistibly. Your transformation is complete when internal authority radiates outward, deterring exploitation, inspiring compliance, and consolidating your sovereignty. No external threat can displace a sovereign fully in command of self, and every engagement becomes an opportunity to extend dominion. Move deliberately, act decisively, and maintain invisible reserves to ensure perpetual advantage. Harness ambition without compromise, execute with precision, and enforce the protocols of self-mastery relentlessly. Let every act reflect the synthesis of mind, ritual, strategy, and measured ruthlessness. The throne is not given, it is forged from deliberate, unrelenting cultivation of the self. Rule silently, act decisively, remain sovereign. Stand as the architect of your own dominion. Each day, reinforce the structures of your mind, body, and resolve, for neglect erodes even the strongest foundations. Treat every morning as a mustering of forces. Your rituals are the drills that sharpen reflexes, condition judgment, and harden will. Mental armor is maintained in repetition, in consistent action, in the deliberate shaping of thought and habit. Allowing slack invites disorder. Hesitation surrenders advantage to the opportunists who probe weakness and capitalize on delay. Observe the battlefield of your life constantly. Opportunities, threats, and subtle shifts occur without pause. Consolidate gains immediately. Do not defer command to chance or sentiment. When a colleague questioned your proposed approach, respond with measured authority, demonstrating the superiority of strategy over emotion. Recognize that the throne of your personal influence is never secure. It must be defended daily through disciplined execution. Train the mind to anticipate attacks, the body to respond with controlled precision, and the presence to radiate unshakable control. Each interaction, each decision, is a move on an invisible chessboard, reinforcing dominance and signaling competence without ostentation. Inaction is a luxury reserved for the complacent. Hesitation is the precursor to erosion. Execute with clarity, enforce boundaries without aggression, and let visible mastery speak louder than words. Your consolidation is measured not by grand gestures, but by quiet, persistent enforcement of principles, by the meticulous upkeep of strategy, by the refusal to tolerate entropy in thought, habit, or action. Trust your preparation to guide response. Let rituals cement strength, and let vigilance convert opportunity into lasting power. Rebuild relentlessly, enforce your internal authority, and let every choice fortify the structure of sovereignty. Rebuild without hesitation. Rule your inner battlefield. Become untouchable.